Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Coming at you from the deep, dark shade of the woods today. I'm a little bit off the path. The birds are hollering at me. It almost feels a shame because it's such a gorgeous day. I don't want to be in the deep, dark woods, but at the same time, the breeze and the cool feels amazing. And I wanted you to get an idea of what things are looking like right now. And I thought I'd share a quick story. I don't know if it's a story, more of a discussion point. I really need your opinions and I need your thoughts. So I need comments. I need advice. I'll take anything, right? People ask me all the time, can I come to your farm? Can I visit? Can I pet the animals? Can I see, everything? Can I come and shop your soap? Oh my God, I would love that, right? Because that supports the farm. But the reality is I just can't. And I've talked about this before, right? Just the amount of time and energy that I put into my days already, they're full. Until I retire from my job, which is unfortunately many, many years away. Fortunately or unfortunately, I guess. Fortunately in the sense that I have a long runway. The reality is I just can't, right? Like I work full time. I manage the farm. I manage the website. I manage the social media. On my weekends, they're full of all the chores that don't get done during the week, right? Because they can't when you get home from work at dinner time and it's time to feed, water, and you do the best you can in terms of bare maintenance and interaction with the animals, lay hands on them, right? Give them the time that you have with them during the week. And then on the weekends, morning till night, cleaning stalls, washing things, laundry, normal household stuff, right? Farm hubby is mowing. He's, doing some of the maintenance work. Making sure that the goats are groomed. I'm catching up on emails and all the things, right? So a decision was made very early on that, like, for now, I don't have the farm as an open farm. It is a closed farm. I don't have visitors, with the exception of when we have baby goats, and then the baby goats' new families, of course, can come and be with their baby goats as often as they want. But we do not have regular visiting hours, open hours. I've entertained it many times over the years, and it boils down to I just don't have a day of the week to do it. It's a lot of work. It costs me money, right? It costs insurance to have enough insurance to make sure that if somebody were to stumble and fall, we'd be protected. If anybody, God forbid, were bit, right? Like they stuck their fingers in a donkey mouth instead of listening to me. All those things require thinking through. And so it's why we don't have open hours. The soap shop situation, that's a little bit more recent, right? I've tried to think of solutions there. I haven't come up with one. Thankfully, this time of the year, we're coming up on some of our local markets and shows. So if you are local and you want to come see our inventory, you'll be able to see me in person with all of my inventory out and available to you. I have a show in September for 2 days. I have two different shows back to back, 1 week, 2 weekends in a row in November before Thanksgiving. So all your holiday shopping needs are covered in that sense. So at any rate, that's why I'm not an open farm. It doesn't help that there are certain times of the year that I can't be an open farm. I do not want to be an open farm when I'm trying to breed goats because I want them to be comfortable. I want them to feel safe and secure. That's how they will settle and get pregnant, right? So goats are smart. Animals are smart in general. And if they don't feel safe and they don't feel comfortable, their bodies will actually reject, the ability to get pregnant at that time. Too much stress, very similar to humans, I guess, at that point. So, right, nobody visits in September or October while we're breeding goats. Then during goose breeding season, our geese are so delicate in the breeding season. Their fertility is crap, as evidenced by the fact that we can hardly get goslings. They will quickly abandon the process if they're disturbed. So goose breeding season, which runs from about Valentine's Day till the end of May, is also closed, right? So it leaves me very little time anyway to have open hours. Now, what's been interesting is over the years, and this really started during COVID, during when the world started to reopen, but people weren't back to work yet, kids weren't back to school yet. Many times, like not one or two, but dozens of times, I've been, working or in the house doing something, or in the barn doing something. And a car will pull down our driveway, which is marked as no trespassing private property, go ahead and park down by the barn, and a family will spill out of the car and they will start walking around the property like they own it. And it amazes me that anybody would think that that's appropriate. And it's happened a lot. In fact, it just happened recently, which is why I'm, coming to you, right? The most recent one was interesting. I got a phone call, and I answer my phone as often as possible. This was a Sunday afternoon. It was actually the 4th of July weekend. So it was Sunday afternoon of a holiday weekend. I was enjoying the last few moments of that extra long weekend where I had caught up on everything with the extra day off of work, and I might have had a few minutes to relax. My phone rings, and it's a young person, so a child, wanting to know where I am. I thought it was the wrong number. I don't know. Where are you? Well, we're here to see the animals. And who do we, where are you? Like, wait, you're what? So at that point, thankfully, the adult got on the phone. And, I had gotten up off the couch. I'm looking outside, and I can see that they're out and about, and there are children running all over my property. Again, I am not insured for that. I mean, I have certainly homeowners and all the nonsense that you're supposed to have, but I'm not insured to be a business that hosts events and petting zoos and things. And you're just running loose on my property without permission and without invitation. So I advised them of that on the phone, right? That they're unfortunately not welcome here, right? And I try and be polite about it, but at the same time, it's frustrating. And then I have to head out, leave the house, put the dogs away. Well, put the dogs out so they're barking and they're lunatics, but they're out in their yard, so not at risk of running up on anybody, because certainly I don't know if these people like dogs, don't like dogs, want dogs jumping on them, and escort them off my property. And it's such a weird thing. Like, is that normal? Do you guys do that? I actually asked a couple of my local farmer friends similar questions, and they've all had similar experiences. One of my friends tells the story of how she came home from work, because again, most of us actually have a full-time job in order to do this. The farming does not pay the bills. And she said she came home from work, and there was a family that had literally set up a picnic on her property, like the whole thing, barbecue, party, decorations, like the whole 9 yards. And when she approached them and advised that they were on private property, that this was not an open facility for their event, their response was not, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, let me clean up." Their response was, "Well, we'll be done in a little while." No, you're effectively in my yard. And this again was my friend, but this is, I would have thought the same thing. You're in my yard, uninvited, hosting a party. You need to go. I'm sorry that you thought this was okay, but it's not. So honestly, I opened this with saying, I need your thoughts, your advice, your opinions, right? Like, what do you do in that situation? How do you handle that with grace? I don't think I handle it as gracefully as I should, right? I try and be polite about, advising that we're not open to the public, that you need to, leave. And I do, I do try and escort them out, right? I don't just expect that I tell them to leave and they go. I have to actually watch that they go. And it interrupts everything that I'm doing because I need to corral children a lot of times, get them loaded back up in the car with their parents, and not me loading them up, of course, but me making sure they get loaded up, and that nobody gets hurt. And that my animals are safe, right? They're not being fed things they shouldn't be fed. All those sorts of risks that I haven't even, mentioned. But so I'm sure I don't handle it as gracefully as I should. And I'm wondering what you guys would do. Think about if you came home from work one day and hanging out in your backyard was just a bunch of people having a party. Or like, I don't know, you put your dog out in the yard. Let's assume you have a dog, right? You put your dog out in the yard to go potty, and you go take a phone call or something. You turn around and there's 3 or 4 kids in your yard playing with your dog, and they're not kids that you know or that belong to you. What do you do in that situation? So anyway, there's my random story of farm unannounced visitors while we hang in the cool woods, the cool temperature-wise woods, nice and shady. Didn't really take a walk this time because I just did a walk recently. Plus I was deep in and I didn't really want you to hear nothing but leaves crunching like you were just hearing. So that is my tale for today. I no idea whether you enjoyed it or not. So you'll have to tell me. And the best way to tell me is by giving me some advice. Let me know how you would handle it. I really want to know, because sometimes it's just wild to me that this stuff happens. And maybe I'm off base in my expectations of the world. I'm okay with that. Tell me if, like, that's a normal thing and I'm just nuts. Wouldn't be the first time. On that note, I hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you are in this world. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be kind. And then I will see you at the next one. Bye for now.